G'day guys, Duckville here. I am going to slow this down for just a tiny bit because I know you guys like to watch SCVs moving around at max pain speed, and also because I need to rant for just a little bit. So please stay tuned and don't worry about the fact that these workers are going really, really slow. But yeah, we've got a couple of games here from the Starcraft school, a little guide that I decided to put together for some of the lower tier folks. So for the bronze, silver level people, I know you guys jump on forums and you come and try and learn what's happening in the game and how to play better and all this sort of thing. And in fact, I might actually pause this just here because things sort of start off pretty quickly. But yeah, so for you guys here who have sort of just gotten into the game, maybe you played a tiny bit of Brood War um, before it sort of faded out a little bit with the introduction of StarCraft 2, or maybe you have just sort of picked up the game and you have played a bunch of games yourself. So this is for you folks here. So we're not going to be, namely that sort of means we're not going to be focusing on high level, massive tweaks to games, or even the tiny little insignificant 1 second advantage sort of tweaks to a style of play that that might help you out. So people pretty much above the level of gold, really, you don't need to watch this sort of thing. Not saying don't watch it at all, but don't expect to gain too much out of this because I am going to be focusing on just lower level things that, like, macro sorts of things, mainly just to help out the bronze and silver brothers down there. So so please post any comments if you have anything else you'd like to say. Put any comments down in the comments for these upcoming videos. As I've said on the scoceania.com forums, I am by no means a total pro. I am just sort of pretty low level diamond, actually. I've had a really bad run lately, but in terms of gameplay and identifying problems and helping people out with how to fix these sorts of problems, I have been doing all right with that, with coaching a few of my friends with that. So I thought I'd take it to the next level, and we do a little special here and get some videos out. So just before I restart the game, the two players here are Deebs, the green Terran here, and we have NoJulyNooooo, which actually comes from a quote from Super Daniel Mann, for those of you playing at home who watched the GOM Classic. I think it was season 3 he said it. Anyway, long story. But I'll probably be referring to the Protoss here as July because I cannot be bothered saying NoJulyNooooo the whole time. So enough about the ranting, sorry about that. So what we're going to be doing is, as I said, just looking at really simple level things to help out specifically with these guys. And yeah, as I've said, jump on the forum if you want to, if you want to participate, perhaps if you want to feature in the next episode, if you want me to have a little look at your play and see what sort of small things you can adjust to fix your gameplay, and I'll certainly jump on and we can certainly sort something out. So I'll just put this on and here we go. So first sorts of things here, obviously number one, just a really small issue here with the start from Deebs was the supply depot is going down. Just again guys, I'm going to slow down things if I need to talk a bit, just to focus on exactly what happens here. The pylon goes down. I think that timing was alright. As we said here, the supply depot was just a tiny bit early, so what you need to be doing is making sure that you've got the 10th SCV building in the command center, so the sort of just started building. Then you need to plonk down that supply depot. And obviously, from a tactical point of view as well, walling off here on Lost Temple is a decent idea, especially at sort of bronze and silver levels. I think that that you do get a lot of sort of 2-gate and heavy zealot sort of play, so it's as a Terran, it's good to wall off in that regard. So pretty nice timing here from July on the gateway as well. As you can see, the probe comes along, we hit 150 minerals, and he puts it down straight away, so you're minimizing the actual lost time of your probe sitting on the minerals. Now we've got here, this is a bit of a problem for Deebs here. I'm going to slow this down just a sec. We can see he's got 300 minerals sitting here. I'm not really sure whether he was, doesn't look like he was sort of microing a scout or anything really hard. I think he may have been focused on this SCV here, which was running around the map trying to scout. But as you can see, it's just I would just presume this is just a sort of an error with forgetting how the map works. But as you can see from Deebs here, he actually sort of scouted in here and hasn't actually gotten into the main here, which is obviously going to cause him a bit of trouble. But it has also delayed this Rax. So we've got 2 refineries going down, I believe. He actually has a specific strategy that he's going to use in these games, because both of these players, I sort of teed them up beforehand, like a week beforehand, said maybe get some practice in, see how you go. And so they've both done a little bit of practicing. So just speeding it back up. July's grabbing this early Zealot here as well, so he's going to be getting that out just in case. But you know, it's very dependent on when you're playing against Terran as to whether you do get that first Zealot. Some of the time it's just not really worth it, but some of the times it is, because you know it very much depends on if the guy's going to proxy you or not. But as we can see here, no proxies are coming up, and the wall is up. So the first Zealot isn't going to do too much apart from sit there and look pretty. And we also have some decent, we've got a patrol sort of movement on the probe there, which was decent, just to make sure that it stays alive for the maximum amount of time. Although, of course, if you aren't watching and the probe actually starts getting attacked, it's really not going to do anything to move out of harm's way. So, just once again, I think that's purely a preference thing for everyone to decide how they do that. We've got a tech lab going here from Deebs. He's getting this early tech lab, moving into the factory, and I would say he's probably going to move to like a really fast tech there just to grab the tank. We've got a second gate here from July. He's also another thing, as you'll see here, guys, we've got just almost on 50 energy there on the Nexus, but he has picked it up, so he's going to use that to pump out some probes. Always make sure, this is a key thing for all of you guys there who are just starting to play, is really to keep on focusing on using the energy from your main town hall. I'm going to call it, just to use a bit of an old school terminology for it, but just keeping on top of that is a real key to upgrading your play, in terms of making sure that you've got either, if you're a Protoss, making sure you're pumping out probes. As we can see here, he's almost at 50 again, but Chrono Boost only costs 25. So make sure you're keeping on top of that, whether it be to Chrono Boost these the warp gate tech out, or as we can see here, he's going to chrono out some stalkers. You would think that he's going to go perhaps for a little bit of an early push just to see if he can get up the ramp, but we'll have to see how that goes. And if you're Terran, of course, just going back to the energy thing, once you've got your orbital command, making sure that you use the mules, and then sort of moving later into the game, making sure that you've got either a good scanner sweep to see what is happening in the enemy base. So that is one really key thing for everyone to make sure that you are doing in those lower sorts of levels, is because that will give you a massive boost ahead of your opponent. Just before we watch Deebs push out here, he's grabbing a starport and another Rax. He's looks like he's going to be doing one of these sorts of builds here, where he's going to get a bit of a heavy ground force initially, and we'll see what happens with that. There is one Banshee, not a Banshee, Alien, sorry, that is out down here at the just the choke point of July's base. He's got some stalkers, and he's got another gate pumping, and we have an observer that's just popped out. There's one really key thing for a lot of lower level players, is actually keeping up on scouting as well. Just making sure that you've at least got some form of seeing what's happening in the enemy base. As we can see, July's actually going to patrol this observer around, which, you know, if you don't feel confident in microing your observers around yourself, do a patrol path. It's really good. Sorry, I missed this little attack here. And we are going in normal speed. As I said, guys, I'm sorry it's sort of going in normal speed, but I got to try and keep up on everything to help make sure I'm doing my best for everyone. But the Hellion went down. We lost, I think it was 2 Marines. But as you can see, this little pushing force is just, I think it's just here just to see what's happening in the base here, which is a nice little move by Deebs there, moving across. Now, as you can see here, just pausing it for a bit, this retreat path, this might be a bit of a higher level thing, I don't know, it's up to you guys, but when you're retreating, try and keep your units running on a good path. You see, because Deebs ran just down here and then across this way, his forces that were left over, despite it only being one Marine and two Marauders, he's putting them in the actual line of sight of these Stalkers here, and the Stalkers can just sit up on this cliff and just take shots at these units that are retreating. So the thing there is to obviously just make sure, if you can, it's by no means a massive priority, but it is a key to moving up in your level of play, is to try and make sure that your units are sort of escaping in a path that gives them a bit of safety. So one key thing to watch out for there. As we can see, yeah, the Marine goes down, and essentially he's lost a lot of Marines and a couple of Marauders there, but not really too much to worry about. We do have an Immortal here from July. He's pumped that one out. He's sitting a little bit high on the minerals and gas. He's got 400, 200 at the moment. He's grabbing an Observer though, so we'll see how that goes. He's also getting Blink, which is a nice little technology to get for your Stalkers, which gives them a nice little advantage when they are out on the battlefield. Banshee coming out here from Deebs. He's going to get a Banshee, which is really good for either harassing the mineral line here of the Protoss, or for actually giving some really high DPS in the forces of the Terran player, because the Stalkers can do a lot of damage against the Banshee, can do a lot of damage against the Stalkers and can take them out. Of course, the Stalkers can counter with their own damage, but it is just it's another form of damage to have in your Terran force if you've got this if you've got the Banshee out, which is about to come out. No, it's already here. So the Banshee is here, and of course the other advantage is what if these Stalkers die and these additional ones here, there is really nothing for the Immortal to do against a Banshee, because of course it cannot shoot air. So we'll have to see how this plays out. And we've got a second Banshee coming out, a Hellion. I believe that, yeah, there's a Marauder and Marine and another tank out here as well. This is becoming a really dangerous force here down at the Protoss natural. Little bit of a risk perhaps to take this natural, but I wouldn't really think so too much. It's sort of really dependent on what he could see in the base. And as you can see, with this Observer patrolling around for July, there's he can see most of the base, so perhaps he's decided to take this expansion, which is, we'll have to see how that pans out, because obviously that could be a bit of a risk given the forces that are out here. What I would like to see is keeping, because July's got this second Observer here, and it's just really like to see him floating around with that, perhaps scouting expansions, and just seeing what other forces are on the map for the Terran player. Now we've got an interesting little group here. We've got 2 Immortals and a whole bunch of Stalkers. We've got what's that? That's 8 Stalkers there, and they are going to be taking on this particular force here. Now